Oh yeah, Blackson in the hizzle, all for shizzle dizzle. We got an excellent show here today. Um, Today we're gonna have some guests coming on. But before I do, let me touch on this Brittany Grinder. Give my take, and then as people are coming in, I'm gonna get their takes. We got Zanzi. What up, Zanzi? What up, Zanzi? What up? What up? What up, man?
Ooh,
What's your take on the whole Brittany Griner thing? We got a warlord for a basketball player. What's up with that?
well, um, I'm
I
thinking
mean,
that,
before you say, I do believe all lives matter. So I just want to put that in there. But go ahead.
but okay.
I know I'm being
Uh,
silly.
I'm thinking it's mostly a political move, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at what was going on in the background, right? Basically, they wanted to get her back, but they also wanted to get another dude, Paul Whelan or something like that.
yeah. Marine. Yep.
Um, yeah, that's accused of spying in Russia, right?
Yes.
But Russia, well, the exchange, they wanted the armed leader, Victor Bout, but also another dude that's, well, someone killed an ex Chechen dissident back in Germany, right?
Right.
So Brittany, my understanding is that Brittany and Victor were more the the popular options, right?
Right.
They were the show in order to get the people that mattered swapped, right? They
Yeah.
didn't manage to get that done because Germany was like, fuck you, you don't have anything to get in that, right?
Right.
But yeah, they basically exchanged the basketball player against Nicolas Cage inspiration in Lord of War, right?
Yeah. Yep. That's right.
Yeah. My opinion of that is, well, it's it makes for great cinema. Maybe we're gonna have a sequel to Lord of War now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I would have to agree with that, Zanzi man. Part two, because yeah, it wasn't that long ago they made that movie. What Nicolas Cage, right? Lord of
It was around when I was in high school, so it must have been around 2003 to 2005, something like that.
okay, okay. Damn. Yeah. Jeez, man. Um of course there's some people in the US here that are not happy about that. They are not happy about that one bit. Um
Why? I mean, what pisses them off exactly? You know that an
well
arm dealer got released is
well
just adding
yeah.
one fucking tadpole to the you know. Eh,
Well, that and then on top of it, they were saying that they wanted the Marine back, and it's just so yeah, like you said, you got we got the
So they would have preferred that we leave the basketball player in, we get the Marine back in exchange for Victor.
yeah, they were
That
saying
was never gonna happen.
right, exactly, but they were saying that the crimes don't match up. The ones that um the dealer of death did compared to Brittany Griner for just some weed, or they they called it weed sauce for some weed sauce. Um, that was a joke they made. They called it
Oh,
weed sauce here. Yeah,
yeah. So they feel like we just traded a Charizard for a good old fucking Magikarp. Like
right.
the
Yeah,
Pokemon card trade didn't went a reasonable way.
yeah. So America, a lot of the pundits are here are feeling very slighted right now, and yeah, they're saying that. Yeah, they said if not the economy, but this definitely made Joe Biden the worst president of all time. This trade right here, he said they were saying, yeah. If you listen to some of the pundits over here, Zanzi,
What? A prisoner trade made Joe Biden the worst president of all time?
well,
I mean,
again, these are the pundits.
what
These
about bombing Japan with nuclear bombs? Or what about everything the CIA did in the 60s? Or what about, I don't know, the
Reagan.
war in Iraq? Aren't all those things worse than a prisoner trade?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you would say so, but I mean, again, you're talking about. I mean, you just got pundits here just talking shit. I mean, of course, we can. I mean, me personally, I think the Reagan era was the worst time. You know, the whole war on drugs, and then I mean, that to me, personally, in my lifetime, was the worst. But if they want to give that to
I
Joe
feel like a
Biden,
prisoner swap, that in itself doesn't make any fucking victim. So how can this be a worst thing ever? I mean, they release someone who's arguably a bad person, right?
right,
But I mean, it's not like fucking arms trading stopped when he got put inside, right?
right,
Uh,
exactly,
it's it's just he's gonna benefit back from it again, maybe.
right.
It's I'm- I don't know, man. It's
Well, they're saying it's actually a strategic move on Russia too, because now they're
propaganda because they
saying
always claim this guy didn't do nothing, right? So
right, right, but now they're saying that now that this guy, the dealer's out, Russia will be able to get better weapons in the
what?
whole
Why?
in I don't know. This is the stuff that they're saying. I don't
So
these
most
media
people don't actually know what this guy was doing. This guy was selling old Soviet weapons to other countries.
right.
Never was he getting weapons to Russia, better weapons to Russia.
Good point.
So people who say that have no idea what the fuck this guy was doing.
Right, right, right. Well, it's funny because people I've heard when I was doing my research on this, there were people uh talking about, oh, we got MD, man. That MD, you can jump in anytime. That people one of the African leaders said they're finding weapons that's supposed to be going to Ukraine and Africa. They get find them in Nigeria, all over the place. They're like shit. So happening if they were talking about doing an oversight in the Democratic Party, all up in arms, talking about, oh, how can you ask for oversight during a war? Like easily, hell. They
So
might
you're
put
talking about modern weapons that the United States are currently shipping to Ukraine
current,
find
yes.
themselves to find their way to Africa.
Yeah, they're saying only 30% of the weapons make it to Ukraine. The weapons
I
that are
mean,
supposed to,
that shows you that arm dealers are still plenty around, right? And
oh,
that's not
absolutely.
Victor that was doing that.
Oh, absolutely. Right, right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hell, I mean, I mean, some people might say it's the CIA directly doing it, but hey, I don't
It
want to
might
sound like,
be, but I mean, again, arms dealing is a fruitful business. A lot of people doing it. Competition, deadly competition, right? So
yeah,
it might be the CIA, it might be intelligence agencies in other countries, it might just be a very very thrill-loving businessman like Victor most likely was, right? But
right,
the thing is, to my knowledge, Victor's plug were in the ex-Soviet area, right?
right,
Again, I've read very little about him, and I've seen Lord of War. That's my background, right? So maybe
right,
there's things I don't know about him, and that actually they're there. Let me rephrase that. I don't know most things about him, but from what I understand, he he wasn't peddling American weapons.
right, right. AMD, you can join anytime, man. 'Cause I know you got a lot to say about this because it was MD that came on here, I want to say, not too long ago and was saying, no, it's not a freight trade. You trading the killer for a goddamn basketball player. I remember that. And man, that stuck with me. I think MD in the car. But
Yo, can
yeah.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, MD, man. Yeah, man. You
Okay,
remember your
yeah, yeah. Peace, peace, peace.
beats,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah, yeah. I just came in. I know you scheduled the show for 6. I don't know if you started a little earlier or not. I don't know how
No,
far
just a
y'all
little
been
bit.
into the conversation.
No, just a little bit. Just maybe like maybe 5 minutes. That's it. No,
Okay, okay.
yeah. No, we were just talking about how it wasn't too long ago. You said, man, it wouldn't not be a fair trade to trade a killer for a goddamn basketball player. I remember that. I mean, boy, I was like, damn, that's the first thing I
Yeah,
thought about.
yeah. I mean, I can't wrap my head around what the strategic move would be. Like, I don't know if it was just maybe just
MD,
from from a, from a
we talking about Biden, man. Come on now.
I mean, but I mean, I'm trying to. I'm still like it don't matter like who we talking about. I'm trying to understand the premise behind even having the conversation of exchanging him for her. Like I can't wrap my head around it. Like it's wild. You know what I mean?
It is wild, bro. It is wild.
Especially when you're not. I mean, it's crazy because when we look at what he was charged with, like of course they you know it, as far as an international court, of course you're gonna choose like to send him to the U.S. Even though one of his charges was if I'm not mistaken, he got charged with conspiracy to like I guess endanger or kill American citizens.
Yeah.
I mean, but he got charged with that by proxy of what he was doing.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you know, it's just padding stats as far as what you charge the guy with in the first place. But it's crazy to me that the international courts don't have nothing to say about this.
Right.
That's the wild part about all of this.
Well,
Like you mean to tell me the international courts, UN ain't got nothing to say about y'all letting this guy go for free after they
they
did
don't.
all of this
They
to
really
get
don't.
him?
No. International courts, like, and especially the UN, right? We're not speaking about Interpol here. We're speaking about the UN, right? So the UN, their only role is to resolve disputes between nations. As far as law enforcement go, national law enforcement and national crimes, that's not
I,
on their agenda, right? That's not on
I understand that, but the UN specifically took a lot of resources and time in investigating him that led up to the charges.
no Interpol,
They were directly
not
involved.
the
Well,
UN, not the UN, Interpol.
no, no, look it up. The UN was directly involved.
Well, no, what the UN, the UN involvement in Victor's case is mostly because there have been calls in relation to human rights, right?
Yeah, correct.
But they don't. The UN doesn't convict anyone of anything.
I didn't say that, but
Right.
I said they were directly involved in the
Yeah,
investigation that led up
I
to
mean,
his
they don't
conviction.
have any kind of role in there that can affect a prisoner swap, right? Because they're not involved in law enforcement. They
No,
can they can do research and try to
and
indicate.
yeah, you're absolutely correct. They did research and they exhausted a lot of resources in doing so.
No, okay,
That
so
eventually led up to him getting convicted. That's what I'm telling you. Like it's
I
documented.
that they expended resources. I would agree that what they uncovered led him to get convicted. I would disagree because what got him convicted is a sting operation where he got accused of terrorism, right? Because what
Correct.
he was
Yeah.
trying to facilitate, right? The trade he was trying to facilitate. So that's what got him convicted, and that investigation was a collaboration between Interpol and the United States, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Um,
Interpol.
now, the UN, they might have impacted, right? They might have impacted. I'm not even. I'm not aware of the fact that is human rights. Well, let's say allegations uh, were taken into account for his convictions. They definitely were taken into account when it comes to Russia trying to have him um, released, saying that it was uh, a political imprisonment and that he never that he was framed, right? So because Russia did appeal human rights questions concerning Victor, but saying that he was a victim of human rights violation, right? Uh, Now, I might be wrong, but from what I understand, I don't see the UN having any kind of major role that would allow them to affect this prisoner swap. I understand that you're saying they should maybe have
Well,
a
yeah,
say in
yeah, the
release
prison
there.
swap. Yeah, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about what led to his conviction prior.
Okay. Well,
Like it was documented in Thailand that they had UN peace officers there that was giving that information to the top police.
oh, all right. Well, if
So
that's
that's what I'm talking about. The swap itself, I'm not saying they had anything to do with that. I'm just talking about the information that led up to everything getting compiled in order to convict him of whatever crimes that they convicted him of, as far as an international coalition between everybody that was involved.
so
And furthermore, like I said again, whatever international entities that were involved prior, why haven't we heard anything? I think that's the most important aspect that we got to look at. Like, and that's what's crazy to me. Like, you mean to tell me we did all of this? We got you guys to be the mainstay as far as federally imprisoning this guy, and now you swap him for Brittany Grenier. Like, you know what I mean? I'm
so
intrigued as to what they think about all that.
so you know what's interesting, right? I just want to say that, like I've said, I've read very little and very um, um, directed information. I'd say in the sense that uh, I've read mostly information related to only his conviction and the way it was treated by Russia, right? I wanted to see what was Putin's goal or what he wanted to do with this guy, right? By having him released. But from what I've read, I haven't seen any involvement of the UN peacekeepers in the operation in Thailand. If it was the case, though, then yeah, they had a more involved role, and I'd be interested in knowing exactly what was that role in his apprehension at the very least. Now, from what I've seen, um, he huh, I lost a bit of my train of thought here in relation to. So, what was your latest point? Because I just
Well, we're just seeing like how MD was saying. I mean, the as far as like the crime, and I know you said earlier popularity and political, you know, being political and popularity, but when you just look at just the crimes, it's uneven just on crime alone because I believe if in some countries you get the death penalty for the charges that he gets in other countries. So
Right.
no,
I
but
mean,
that's not.
I'll say this also. I'm sorry. I'll say this also real quick. Those African countries ought to be in an uproar right now.
yeah,
In terms of what he did to give a lot of those rebel factions advantage,
Boko
because
Haram.
that's what he did.
Yep,
Like those the African countries,
Al Shabaab.
whether right, wrong, and indifferent. Like
Yep,
I'm not taking like a political tone as to what I'm just saying in terms of how he shaped and molded the way those wars were fought.
that's right.
Whether it was Somalia, whether it was the
Congo.
Congo civil, yeah, like any of
Mhm.
that stuff.
Yep,
Like the African
Liberia.
countries should be in
Yep,
an uproar.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Zanzi. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Zandy. Oh, okay. I think it's connection. Yeah, but no, yeah, you're right, right. You talking about like Al Shabaab, Boko Haram. I mean, you can go all over Africa, MD. Damn. So yeah, I'm well right now, and it's funny you mentioned that, MD, because I forgot his name from Nigeria. They're highly upset that weapons that are supposed to be going to Ukraine are actually ending up in Africa. They say only 30% of the weapons that are being supposed to be sent to Ukraine is ending up in Africa. Not Paul Whelan. Okay, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
yeah, yep.
Okay.
Okay, so Trevor said, "Why Griner and not Paul Whelan?" That's a good
Well,
question.
Paul Whelan, they weren't gonna give him. I believe he was also with it. I First of all, let me say this. I think they've been negotiating this like for a while now.
Yeah,
With that, we just didn't have any recollection of it because the media wasn't saying anything about it.
facts.
I believe the government was negotiating this for a while. I pretty much already like a lot of people bringing up Paul Whelan, but Paul Whelan's his crime is involved with
Espionage.
espionage over
Yeah,
there in Russia, and they not
they're
it
not
ain't
playing
happening.
that shit.
He not happy. It ain't happy. He probably ain't even in no condition to come back. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like to be honest.
Yeah, he probably in a wheelchair like the guy from North Korea, man. Shit.
Yeah.
No,
So
yeah,
yeah, I mean I pretty much knew like when this news broke, like yeah, like they probably tried, but that's not happening.
right.
It's not happening at all. So at the end of the day, it advantage Russia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They played off of the emotions of the American people,
Facts.
and they got what they wanted.
Exactly.
You got to understand, like this guy, he's a somewhat of an engineering genius because yeah, he sold weapons, but he also was a big part in manufacturing a lot of the air to ground, ground to air missile system that a lot of people use today. Like he innovated some of that technology. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Yep.
That's
Yep.
that's, that's implemented in those weapon systems. So yeah, and we're talking about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So
That's
ain't
right.
like once the Kremlin get him in the lab now, ain't no telling what he can do.
Yeah. It's
You know what
on.
I mean?
Oh, it's on it.
So
It's on
yeah,
and
man.
popping when they get. Oh shit! What? It's
So
gonna
yeah,
be
he's
on and
like, hey man,
popping.
like a lot done changed
Yeah.
since you've been in. We got some new shit.
Yeah.
So he probably gonna be like a kid in the candy store.
And you took the words right out of my mouth, MD. God damn, you took the words right out of my mouth. Shit, he gonna have a field day, and he just got getting out of prison too. Oh
Yeah,
shit, he gonna be
yeah.
eating
So
good
so in
too. Oh
turn, yeah,
shit.
right. So in terms of his engineering prowess, he's one of the best. Was
Absolutely.
always considered one of the best.
Yep. Top notch.
He was just smuggling, running guns on the side, basically.
Right.
That wasn't his main spiel. His main spiel was producing those air defense systems.
Tell him. Tell him about it. Tell him about
So
it,
so
MD.
yeah,
Shit.
man. Yeah, like I said, advantage Russia, man.
Yeah. All day. Hey, you think this is gonna shift the tide? Well, it's not even a shift of tide. I mean, over here, the republics are losing against Kiev, but I mean, I know you don't believe that, but does this change the game in the Civil War?
I mean, time will have to tell that. I mean, I don't know how much of a impact he would have on that per se. Not
Oh,
at
okay.
least not right now.
Not enough time, basically, to make
Yeah,
it.
but
Okay,
in terms of just like I said, the emotionalism of it all, like Russia won that battle.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That's a
Like
fact.
most definitely won that battle. But we have to understand this is just going to be another talking point for 2024.
Oh, that and okay. Then let me ask you that: does this kill? I mean, is this the nail in the coffin for Biden?
I mean, I again, we're talking about the Democratic Party plays on the heartstrings of Democrats. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
So
I
I
got what
mean,
you're saying.
a lot of people, especially a lot of black people, is
Right.
looking at this as a win.
Damn.
How you could possibly do that, I don't know. I'm not going to even try to dissect it.
Right.
You know what I mean? If
But
you ask me, you're
I
a
would say
fool if you think that.
I would. Well, I'm glad you said it because I would think that's even though you would get the the vote of black people. That's a high risk move though, ain't it?
Yeah, again, only time will tell. Like it's definitely gonna be a talking point
Absolutely.
come 2024. When them debates start popping up,
Yeah.
it's gonna get brought up.
Oh, it's going.
You know what I mean? It's gonna
Yeah.
like it's definitely gonna get brought up. And me and you see how it was an asinine move, but
Right.
you're gonna have to show and prove how it was an asinine move. And,
Well,
that's
hell, I
where
mean,
those GOP candidates gonna have to show what's
right.
what. You know what I mean?
MD is so many angles they can go at that, bro. I mean, seriously. I mean, I know what you're saying, and it may from one perspective, it makes a lot of sense. As black people, we know, the deal with that, but at the same time, I mean, the political strategy is just, oh, that was awful, bro. That was just downright. It was downright stupid, is what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't see, the black vote being worth all that. I'm just gonna keep it
Right.
real, MD.
Right.
Do
I
you really?
understand.
I
I
mean,
understand, especially from a foreign policy standpoint. I understand. I get it. I get it.
I don't think the black vote was worth it, bro. But maybe he felt it was worth it. Maybe there's more black people voting than we expect or know about because that was a fucking that was a bad move, bro. Politically, that was a bad move. I
Yeah.
mean, he's gonna go down in history as the worst president, man, doing that
Yeah.
shit. It don't
And
get
yeah.
oh
And we also have to understand this wasn't like, of course we know it wasn't like a bipartisan agreement,
no.
but this wasn't even an interpolitical agreement. Like this is something that he decided to do himself.
Oh
You
wow.
know
So
what I
no
mean?
approval from the Congress or nothing.
No, no, no. I mean,
Oh,
like I said, you're gonna have your people that are gonna agree with it. That's within the party itself. But
right.
no, this was an act of foreign policy. This ain't got, you know what I'm saying. This ain't got nothing to do with Congress or the Senate. This was something that he and of course his foreign advisors like came up with. You know what I mean? And like I said,
Wow.
this is like
Yeah, that was a bad move.
it'll be dumb to not understand that this was something that was in the works for quite a while.
Right.
You know what I mean? Probably even a little bit after her initial conviction. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm pretty sure like this been in the works. And again, to the question of Paul Whelan, like yeah, I'm pretty sure that he was involved in it some type of way. But I mean, just based off of how the Russians view him, like that wasn't going to be a bargaining chip at all. You
Right.
know
So
what I
that
mean?
wasn't even, that wouldn't it
Yeah,
wasn't even no chance for that. Right. Right.
yeah,
Damn.
Well, so I've read in the directed, like I've said, research I've done about Victor that uh, it was said by the judge who convicted him, an American judge, that he felt that Victor had served appropriate time for the crimes he committed. Right? That 11 years was enough, 11 out of the 25, considering the good behavior that he had uh, in prison. Right. So
Right.
in that regard, right, I guess we could see that this trade is a little bit fairer than maybe the alternative that Russia was asking.
I mean, that's an argument. That's an argument because I mean we're talking about what 2008 to now.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to say what 28, 24, if you want to say roughly 14, 15 years is a suitable time to serve for.
I'm not saying that the judge who convicted him is saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not saying that you're saying it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Uh,
with being directly responsible for, if not hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands lives. Okay.
and like I said,
Right.
I'm not very knowledgeable of the actual background of Victor, but I was very surprised. Is it? He's really an engineer. That's actually his main trade.
He's an yeah
Yeah.
he's a his
Yeah. Side hustle.
regular his regular 9 to 5 was, he was an arms manufacturer. He was dealing with making a lot of components in Russian weapon systems. You know what I
Alright.
mean?
In that case, maybe it's a more strategic move on the Russian side. Maybe he's not just peddling weapon, and maybe he's going to then maintain.
No.
Yeah,
He was far more than a gun runner. He was far more than
Yeah,
a
that
gun
was a
runner.
side. That was a side hustle. That was just a
Yeah,
side
yeah.
hustle. Yeah. That was just something.
Yeah, he was like directly manufacturing not the whole systems themselves, but the components.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And his main thing was a lot of the innovations that he had was dealing with ground to air missile system.
Yeah.
Like he dealt with guns too, but you know that wasn't his focal point. His focal point was like strategic ground to air missile systems, and a lot of that technology that he came up with like greatly affected the accuracy and the efficiency of ground to air missiles. Like he's directly responsible, and that's not just Russian. That's all
Yeah.
ground to air missile systems. He's directly responsible for the greater efficiency of those systems in total.
Yeah.
Like he
by
innovated a
that
lot of
it
technology in
means
that aspect.
whatever technology developed for one particular nation got spread. I would imagine. Because
Well, yeah,
I wouldn't imagine him be working directly with each government making
no,
weapons.
but no, of course. But if you're another government and you see, damn, they got a weapon system that's pretty good. Let's copycat it.
Right.
But I would
You know what
imagine
I'm saying?
also that in the time he's been inside, the whatever
The, if
technology.
the technology has evolved, correct, and that makes him even more dangerous because the
Yeah.
dude is strictly a genius.
Oh, yeah, he's some kind of.
And being that he was incarcerated, him coming fresh out and whatever they present him to, he's going to absorb it like a sponge. Because
Right.
when a person sits in prison or jail for an amount of time, and when they come out fresh, it's like, yo, it's like go time. Shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure as soon as they got back to Mother Russia, they put him in a lab. Say, hey man, get to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
You have Russian flying saucers.
I mean, whatever it is,
Hey.
you got to remember, this man went from being incarcerated, now he's free, so he feel obligated. They like, yo, we got you out. Do this. It's kind of like a Suge Knight Tupac situation. Like, no, we own you now. Shit, we got you free, and a person who's been incarcerated is not in no position to argue any other way. Shit, especially
Exactly.
charges like that. Like I said, in other places, in other countries, that they carry the death penalty, especially in Africa, man, Israel. I mean, you go anywhere around the world except for Europe and America, that's a death penalty,
Right.
automatic. You know that, MD.
And if not for the political circus that revolved around this whole situation, he would still be in jail, and he would never seen the light of day.
Nope.
You know what I mean? But
You
he
don't
got
think that
lucky.
Russia would have used another opportunity to try and get him out of prison before his term.
They used this situation to their advantage.
Absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't really get much simpler than that. I don't think this guy will be out. I don't think he would ever be out.
I would go as far to say I wouldn't doubt if they studied the behaviors of Brittany Grenier, was like plan this shit like way ahead of time. I wouldn't even doubt that shit.
Yeah.
That she planned to get caught.
No. Meaning she has she has done this before and they didn't say anything. That's what I'm saying. A person don't go to another country just nonchalant. Well, some people do, but I'm thinking Brittany Griner, they knew she had the oil on her all this time and they just let her through. And then the higher ups, that shit got back to them. Well, then how can we, you know what I'm saying? I think this is all premeditated. That's just my take. I mean,
Well,
you know,
prisoner swap, political prisoner swap is not a new thing. That's not a new thing that just happened, right? It
no,
is happening all the time with any countries.
right.
So that's the fact that they did that, and you see, he's not even the main guy they were trying to get out. Nobody got exactly what they wanted. They just we can arguably say that Russia got a better
A
deal
better
than,
deal.
than America did, though, with that particular trade, right? Like they got Charizard, we got fucking Magikarp, right?
Well, I'm glad you said
But
that, Nancy, because even if they didn't get the guy, and I'm curious to know who this guy was, they still got the upper hand. America still, Biden still got the short end of the stick. So with that being said, who's this other guy that they really wanted? Because I mean, hell, shit, I mean, they already got a good deal as is.
the other guy is an actual uh, operative, right? That got that's in prison for life, right? The other guy, he would have been out in a couple of years, right? In a way or in another, right? Whilst the guy they wanted, this guy is not coming out, right? Because he fucking shot someone in broad daylight in the middle of Germany.
Right,
So it's that guy is harder to get out, right?
right. Got you.
But yeah, but they're gonna imprison other people and they're gonna try to get him out, right? But most likely directly with the German at some point, right? Not through an American. The German didn't have anything to obtain out of that, right?
Well, right now,
Maybe during the winter when everybody's dying of fucking hypothermia in Germany, then they're gonna say,
they're actually
"Well,
dying now.
can we get our killer back, please?"
Yeah, no, they're actually dying now because they cut off that damn oil. That that pipeline, the Nord Stream. I think
Yeah,
it.
but it's not cold enough yet. People are not yet feeling the. I think so. I mean, it's not
Oh,
cold
it
enough.
has. Oh, you're saying it hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Soon, maybe the German are gonna say, well, "Hey, you want your killer? We want heat."
Well,
Right.
I mean, as far as MD, the Nord Stream 1 and 2 are totally destroyed, right?
Nord Stream 1, I believe, is still operating. Nord
Okay,
Stream
cool.
2, Nord Stream 2, remember, it wasn't fully operational.
Okay.
A lot of Nord Stream 2, they were siphoning in what they call test gas. Like
Oh, okay.
the test of pressure and the flow and all that stuff.
Right. Okay,
So
so what no liquid
yeah,
fuel
they
was
were
bombing.
definitely like that's all the way whacked out.
Mm, damn.
But yeah. So I don't know, man. Prisoners are always gonna get exchanged for political reasons, and very rarely those are equal in everybody's mind, right? So,
Well, back in the day, they used to be, I guess you could say the prisoner swaps were more considered even. This is going to be the most uneven prisoner swap in history to go down. And I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm a stand on that for now.
well,
That's going to be the
just
worst.
last year or this year, actually, we had the a Canadian one that arguably was also uneven, right? We had the CEO of Huawei that the United States had us arrest for them, that we traded for a fucking citizen that had done nothing but got arrested in China and accused of spying just because they wanted to get their CEO back, right?
Right.
And so that's an example of something that's most likely more unequal, depending on your position on Huawei's crimes, right? And Huawei's position. Uh,
Right.
the fact that it was somebody that we arrested not because of crimes that we uh, considered they committed, but that you guys considered she committed, and because
Well,
we have an extradition deal with you guys,
Right.
That was a particular situation.
Well, like MD said earlier, it was a bad geopolitical move for Biden. And if he took a risk, he took a very high risk because I don't think there's enough black votes to really cushion that blow. That blow that's going to be, man, the GOP and the MAGA is going to jump all over this shit.
Well, if we're
They
gonna
gonna
talk,
jump. And in fact, I wouldn't doubt, MD, correct me if I'm wrong, I wouldn't doubt if another candidate comes up, Democratic side. Shit. I mean, hey, that was a bad move, bro.
Yeah, yeah, it might happen. It might happen. Definitely on the GOP side, but it may be another candidate that tries to defy. You know what I mean? Like the overall message of the stance behind negotiating to get her out and the person that they negotiated with.
Man,
So
MD, they
yeah,
ain't trying to hear that, bro. We understand as black
yeah.
people, we get it, but man, come on, them crackers ain't going. Man, come on, MD.
So let me ask Zanzi a question because I heard what he said about like the overall jurisdiction of him being convicted. Do you believe that it should have been more of an international jurisdiction in terms of how he was tried and convicted,
so
or
you're
do you
asking,
think or do
so
you
you're,
think that? Go ahead.
so you're asking me if, because like if we take as an example the Nuremberg trials, right? Those
Right,
were after World War II international trials of international criminals for crimes against humanity, right?
Yeah.
right.
Uh, those are, I mean, not argument proof in their validity, the Nuremberg trials, right? I won't really get into it because it's not my field of expertise, but there's an argument to be made that those trials, the fact that they were held by the victors of a war, made them kind of more of a posturing move than anything, right? It's
Yeah, you're definitely right about that.
Yeah.
so that the broader question as to what constitute in what circumstances should an individual, right, a citizen of a particular country, be tried on an international level uh, by an international organization, right, is a very complex one in my mind. It right. So, and I think that's why there was an investigation in human rights, right? Because enough violation of human rights on an international scale, I guess, can be constituted as maybe a crime against humanity and maybe justify in international law uh, an an international trial, right? Held by, it's always a special committee, right? But I'm not versed enough in international law to really know um, what would be the exact prerequisite and if Victor met those prerequisites. From what he's been convicted of, from what I understand, from what I've read, right? Uh, those are terrorism charges, and
Right.
terrorism is not something that's been tried, I think, internationally before because it's
Yeah,
always
yeah. It wasn't. It wasn't.
right.
But
So
it was an international effort in order to get him.
yeah, well, and that's good, right? I mean, to some extent, that's required if we want to have in a globalized world. That's where Interpol exists, right? You need cooperation between different law enforcement agency, or else it would be, I think, too easy to commit crimes on the ICs or in different countries and then escape to another one, and that's international cooperation, right? It's it, now uh, the goal, the way it usually goes is you're trying to get the people who committed the crimes back into the jurisdiction where they can be tried, and imprisoned for those crimes, right? That's usually how those international corporations goes. And unfortunately, our political world made it so that an international effort to get someone behind bars in a particular country can all be thwarted for a particular interest that this country has, right? So what you're saying that it might not seem fair, I absolutely agree with. But that's the way our fucked up political system works.
You're right. So on a hypothetical, another question I would throw out to you is, okay, so which jurisdiction would supersede the severity of the crime? Because we all know that he was tried under American jurisdiction,
Genocide usually does it.
genocide.
That I'll say.
Okay, so but the United States didn't try him on genocide. But it's a lot
No,
of
because
countries that,
he didn't do genocide. I don't think he did, right?
well,
Definitely,
I mean, if
definitely
Africa
the
has
people
something
who
to say, what it,
tried weapons
yeah,
too most likely
right,
tried to do genocide. That I'm pretty sure. But
right. Yeah, he sold and profited off
of
of
genocide.
genocide. Yeah, correct.
yeah, yeah,
So the hypothetical would be, if it was an international effort to get him and bring him in, what made the American jurisdiction supersede any other jurisdiction? Let's say Sudan
hmm,
or Somalia, or like the people that were directly affected by what he did.
exactly.
Those countries, and I think that's the issue here, right? Those countries, right, that that might be able to put on an effort to have him tried for genocide. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't even know what country. I think Angola is one that he got very involved to, selling weapons on both sides. But do those countries have a stable enough government right now to be able to petition for such action? Right?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It
Um.
is, and that's why I brought it up,
Yeah.
because what gives the United States the right to try him in a court of law when
The sting operation for terrorism. That's all they got.
right.
Yeah, that's why they tried him. That's why he got convicted. They can't convict him
Oh,
on
okay, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying based off of proof, basically. I see what you're saying, and that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
now the validity of this thing operation, right? That's a thing you can absolutely bring into question, and that's what the Russian government has been doing ever since he got convicted. He's always claimed he was innocent, right? So he never
Yeah,
admitted any wrongdoing.
yeah. He's still saying he's innocent. So yeah, so that makes sense. You got to prove it at the end of the day,
That's true.
and I guess what the U.S. government had, in conjunction with the international effort, could only get him for the conspiracy to kill Americans, whatever crime that is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like and I think they also got him for the anti-air missile thing, and you know what I mean. But like I said again, what constitutes the United States on trying them, even on those same charges? You know what I mean? So that was my whole thing, and that's why I brought up how does these other countries feel about this whole thing, and where do
Well,
they stand with it?
the question you're asking then is most likely, how does the United States act towards international law, international order in general, right? And
Hmm.
the attitude the United States always had towards the UN and towards international community is international law is fine as long as it's the law that we put forward internationally, right?
Right.
The international way is fine as long as it's the American way, right? Every time international uh, interest is agreed with the American interest, the American went their way and did what they wanted to do and said to everybody else, "Well, what the fuck are you going to do?" Right? And that's the war in Iraq. That's most
Ukraine.
things that they do, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's so them saying that they wanted to get this guy and try this guy. Well, it was just a matter of them getting the ends. And once they have the guy, it's a matter of come and get it from us, right? And well, that's what the Russian did with a surprisingly low bar. But then again, does the fact that the legislative arm who convicted the guy was saying, meh, he's did enough time, right? Did that play any role in him getting exchanged for a basketball player? It,
Actually, that's a good analogy. Yeah, I think that can play because they do take that in consideration when you've done in most situations here in the U.S. when a person has done 80 to 90% of their time, then yeah, they will be considered, parole, pardoned early, So yeah, I would say I think that did play a big part. So yeah.
so the question is, and that's a bigger question, I guess, about law in itself, right? Than the justice system, right? Does the fact that because I guess what he said was saying the judge in some essence is for the crime he's been convicted for, right? The
Uh,
sting operation where he tried to sell weapons that were never ever going anyway because it was a sting operation anyway, right? Eh, he's done enough time, right? Now, I'm pretty sure that if he was convicted of everything he's ever been accused of, 11 years wouldn't be enough in the mind of that judge, right? But that judge
right.
is going from the crime he was convicted from, right? So now, if you take into account what this guy represents, right? I didn't even know he was an engineer. If he's an engineer and he's skilled enough to help Russia get back there, because I was profoundly disappointed with. I mean, I'm in love with Russian planes, and God damn it, they're doing bad right now. It's horrifyingly disappointing. So if he can get that back to them, then maybe is more of a strategic and dangerous guy to have traded back, right? But then if you judge him and imprison him for more than the crime that you convicted him for, then you become actually really guilty of political imprisonment, right? So there's yeah, but again, the United States does what the United States wants, right? And uh, I'm sure that the public opinion is what played a role here. The fact that well, we can't. We can't actually give them the guy they want in order to get her out. So what can we give them, right?
Oh, how's my mic sound? Does it sound all right?
Yeah, you sound all right.
Oh, okay. So you say public opinion, and that's where the quagmire comes in, Zanzi, because again, you got two sides. I mean, you got, like I said, when you talk about the political sphere, it's a whole other beast. You have to put on your, I guess, say your, what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, yeah, when it comes to the whole looking to the sphere of political lens, it's a whole different beast, Zanzi. So when you say popular opinion, and then you got to take into account the political perspective, because at the end of the day, this is going to haunt Biden for the rest of his administration, for the rest of his days. Like until there's a president in U.S. history to do something worse, this is going to be the worst.
Again, I don't see that this is something that can be called worse. Again, this guy was coming out at some point, right? Of
Yeah, but
prison.
they don't see it that
So,
way though. They're not going
huh?
to see it that way. Not here in the U.S.
Well, yeah, okay, sure. I
It's
mean,
a whole.
people have opinions, and those opinions might be wrong. But the fact is, if people are that stupid, then it's not going to be long before someone else does something that's irrelevant, maybe, but is considered a worse thing. So then it just goes into the media machine where every week is a new every week is a new scandal, right?
Right.
You know, so most likely Biden is going to be remembered for something considered worse than that he's going to do in a couple of months, and the president after is going to be remembered for something even worse about 3 weeks into his terms, right? So it's the way it goes, right? Media is gonna fill those 24 hours with news now.
I actually think this is going to make whatever administration come after Biden be actually more cautious because he's going to get hammered for this shit.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. What MD? What do you think? I think he's going to get hammered.
I mean, all right. To give perspective, he wasn't going to be released until 2033.
Yeah, 10 years.
Okay.
And if like when we're talking about like the U.S. prison system, if you're not a U.S. citizen, it's not like us. Like when we go to jail, then after jail we got parole and all these things. When you're not from the country, you serve your time of your full it is no such thing as like
Further.
good behavior and stuff, especially in this situation.
Right.
So you gonna serve your time, and once you serve your time, you would immediately get deported.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying that he was going to be released for good behavior. What I was saying is the judge said that is in an opinion he served enough time considering his behavior, right? That's an opinion of a judge, not right. So
Right.
What I'm saying is that this attitude, if it was shared by people currently responsible in taking that decision, right? That for what he did, for what he was convicted of, we feel like it's not a big deal to exchange him. He served the time that whatever, he seems to be acting okay. It might have played
I would say
into
tell that to the guy that's serving 25 to life on 3 strikes.
Right.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's fair again. It's never fair. Justice and justice and the actual law. That those are two very different things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So his sentence was 25 years. That much we know. So there is an argument to be made that like he was going to get out at that time. Like I said, 2023 was his release time. 2033. I'm sorry, 2033.
2033. Okay. So
Yeah,
he got out 11 years before his release date. Okay. Damn.
Now, like I said, as a political opponent, like I'm eating that all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially the GOP what prides himself on being patriotic. You mean to tell me that this guy was charged and convicted of putting the American people at risk? And he was charged and convicted for that. Convicted is important. And you mean to tell me that you're gonna release him early based off of the public opinion of what your Democratic issue is with this particular person, i.e. Brittany Grenier? Nah,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gonna eat it up.
Yeah, they're gonna eat that. They ain't
They
got no
definitely gonna
choice.
eat it.
Yeah. Yeah. That they gonna take a hit for that. There's no way around that.
So yeah. No, I'm just saying, yeah, we're gonna have to what me and you think, like we can come and like discuss it all day, but from a social political aspect, it's gonna be tough for Biden to get around the fact that he's gonna be challenged on it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's still 2 years left for something else to come up and put a shadow over this particular thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And
I agree.
and again, with all that being said, we're also within this political climate that is Russia itself, like the entity.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that's another shot. I mean, if anything was going to be bipartisan, right now it would be the Russia situation.
Facts.
So whether you agree with it or not, the GOP is going to look at it as a sign of weakness.
Weakness. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just what it is.
It's certain that in the context of a war, it certainly was a questionable decision. But
But what?
but it's my right. If we're gonna talk about the bigger questionable decision, it would be the billion of dollars that the your government spent into that war, right? Uh, that's a bigger issue than this particular bigger prisoner Biswa. So
Oh,
saying
in
that
due time,
billion,
in
of
due
course,
time, Zanzi, that's coming. That's coming too. That's coming too.
right.
Because
So
that's
I'm not
already, yeah.
saying that it's a good thing. I'm saying I don't see how this can possibly be the worst.
Oh no, 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 no. I'm not saying. Well, I'm, I'm a. You know what? Let me just be so blunt. It was just the icing on the cake of many disasters unfolding right now. Like I said, the budget, goddamn, the oversight that's not happening with the weapons, and then now you got this is the Brittany Griner and the warlord trade. This is just the icing on the cake, man. And then let's not mention the Biden laptops. I mean, come on, man. It's a fucking it's an avalanche of shit. But you know, I mean, I'm just looking at shit unfolding like
And
man,
the
shit.
thing is, pretty much every president have had all those kind of scandals, right? It's not because they're president that they're good people. It does seem to be kind of the opposite, right? So
But not
it's
like in this, not to this degree in the first term though. Uh,
well, that's
I mean, I
arguable.
could be wrong. Am I wrong, MD? Not. I mean, let me know if I'm wrong, MD, because I don't know if it's to this extent.
I mean, well, we have to look at it from opposite sides of the spectrum, right?
Okay.
If I had to compare, I would me personally, I would compare it to like W. Bush's first term. Like Bush, he had to deal with everything that was going on with the 9/11 situation.
Well,
Okay.
But but again, we're talking about the levels of bipartisanism that was done in both situations, right?
Right.
but you're
One
speaking as
one
Americans, right? So you've got a horse in that race, right? Whilst internationally, I can pretty much tell you that all of your presidents are fucked up. That's how you're seeing it.
No, we know that,
So
yeah,
Zanzi.
it's
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to give a comparison as to the situation. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like when W. Bush was in office, it was his first term. We dealt with 9/11, and there was an immediate response. Whether it was right, wrong, or indifferent, however you felt about it, it was a bipartisan agreement. Now later on, when it came time to go in opposition to Bush, you saw people that were in direct and were trying to use that in their campaign.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see the same thing happen to Biden right
Yeah.
now. Like you talk about the money that's being spent on Ukraine, that's a bipartisan agreement.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 You're not going to see any opposition to it until it's time to try to get Biden up out of
Because
there.
it's the military-industrial complex that's making the money. They're all making
Right.
money out of it, right?
Correct.
So
You're
I'm fine with
exactly
it.
right.
That's a fact.
But that's over the heads of most American people.
Facts.
You know what I
Why?
mean? I
Why?
I, I, I
Though? I
totally
mean,
agree with you.
I
your
agree
country
too.
has been making money on war since its inception. Why is it a secret for your people?
Because a lot of people believe the mainstream media and they drink the Kool-Aid. Like they
But
still
that's
like
in the mainstream media, isn't it?
huh?
This fact is in the mainstream media,
No, no,
isn't
no,
it?
no, 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 no,
I mean,
no.
comics talk about it, right?
I
Movies talk
mean,
about it. I mean, how much
okay,
more
so
clear can it be?
okay, so Zenz, you remember when we had the conversation about Ukraine civil war? Like people still don't, and they disagree that it's a civil war, but it's clearly a civil war. But they still, because the mainstream media is saying it's not a civil war, they're not acknowledging it as a civil war.
It is a civil war, but that also explains why fucking Putin has nothing to do in there because it is a silent civil war. you know, that's my opinion. But I mean, is it really? Again, I don't watch TV, right? So that maybe the media I read are more balanced because I've never seen any media I read hide the fact that there's been a civil war in Ukraine since 2008, right?
Oh well, that's because
But
you're in
it's
Canada.
Huh?
And that's because you're in Canada. MD will back me on this. There's no media in the U.S. saying that that's a civil war. None whatsoever. None in the U.S. that said it's a civil war. Still to this day.
Well, it is, and like I said, it was documented. Like you remember the other day, Black Son, we were talking about Vice. Like they documented it well that it
Oh,
was a civil
absolutely.
war going on. But it's all about the perception on how it's portrayed. You know what I mean? That piece on Vice, they recognized that it was a civil war, but they also uh uh in terms of putting a storyline to it, it was good guy versus bad guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Vice was following the Ukrainian government.
Right.
They never went and like tried to put it in perspective of what they call the Russian nationalists.
Right.
They never did that. So it's all about storylines and perspective. Whichever perspective that's usually given to you, that's the one you're gonna roll with.
Right.
Well, so the fact that people, because something is bipartisan, people don't question. So from what I understand, it's because it's bipartisan, people don't question it, right? As soon as it's become partisan, as soon as there's a side to be taken,
Yeah.
then it just become a game of blocking whatever the other side does.
Correct.
That's how American politics works.
Correct.
Right. When the whole Ukraine debacle happened, everybody on their social media, it didn't matter if they were Democrat or Republican, they had a Ukrainian flag
Yep.
emoji. You know what I mean? But and we also got to take this into account. Since we're past these midterms now, I think a line is going to be drawn in the sand
Yeah.
in terms of how they, because this is going to be a constant pipe, a
Yeah.
constant flow of money being pushed to Ukraine, right? We already know that. Now it's going to be an issue now that the House is majority Republican, and now that in the Senate, Warnock won, so they still technically got majority. But you're talking about what 51-49 now.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
52 including Kamala. You're gonna start seeing things not being pushed in the House that would initially get pushed through the House and then to the Senate. So now it's going to be interesting to see if the House starts rejecting some of these motions to send more money to Ukraine. I don't know if that's
Right.
going to happen or not.
Yeah.
But because we're getting closer to 2024, and they're going to have a narrative to go opposition to Biden, you may start to see that happen. You know what I mean? It all depends on how they start to put in perspective what's going on in Ukraine. And it's fun, and it's funny because that part didn't matter prior. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So you think they'll squash a financial opportunity to make a new political opportunity?
That they do it all the time.
I guess they do.
They do it all the time.
All right. Well, that's gonna be funny to watch. Oh well, you know what? Ukraine, nah, it's not that a big deal. Let them handle their own business.
Right. I mean, for the most part, right? Like as of right now, for the most part, a lot of MAGA Republicans don't agree with it anyway.
Yeah.
So we're going to start seeing factions within
That's a fact.
politics that are going to like choose sides as far as these
Do you think
different
they're gonna
things
start
happening around the
praising
world.
Putin and take Russia's side? And do you think Blackson's opinion is going to become the mainstream Republican opinion?
Well, no, it's not about taking Russia's side. It's about taking what they perceive to be the American people's side.
Right. No,
You know,
that I agree with. But do you think that is going to go as far as praising Russia and praising Putin?
No,
in
no, 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 no,
No,
no, no, no, no.
I
Hold
don't
on,
think
hold
that's
on,
gonna happen. No.
hold on. Let me straighten this out. Both the Democrats and the Republicans are against Europeans being dependent on uh, Russia
Russia.
petroleum. So that goes for Biden, that goes for fucking Donald Trump, that goes for Obama, that goes all the way back to goddamn Bush. So yeah, that's what they call impartisan. That's a yeah that's not yeah that's neither. They look at that as an American thing. That's just straight capitalism right there. They don't want the competition. So, that's number one. Number two, I want to address something you said, Zanzi, about, we should just mind our own business. That means we have to pull out Zelensky because Zelensky is Obama's puppet. You do know that, right?
What I know about Zelensky is the ridiculous way it got to power, to being an actor playing a president, being like that was it was fucking Inception. His goddamn life story, this guy,
Uh-huh.
and it's yeah. That's what I know about him. That
Yeah, but because it was
if there was ever someone who was literally an actor became politician, well, it's him. I guess Ronald Reagan with another one. Now, as to know what his intentions are and where his influences are, now he campaigned in his TV show and in real life against corruption in Ukraine. Now, does that historically prevented anybody from being corrupt themselves? Absolutely not. So I have no way to know what his exact intentions are, and it might be that the United States have more uh, of a directing position than just a luring position towards him, right? In the sense that I do believe that Zelensky is targets the United States, right? That's the carrot is on the United States side, right? That's the
right.
carrot he's looking at, right? Not the carrot
Uh-huh.
that the Russian is standing. Eh, so the question is, are the United States trying to lure him their way, right? And they know that he wants to collaborate with him. They don't intend on really collaborating with him, but they're using him like they've used so many nations throughout the history. That for sure. Now, is he a political presence that's been implanted by the United States, like they did in so many Middle Eastern or South American countries?
Uh-huh.
Now, I don't know enough to say that it doesn't.
Well, just look at the timeline. All you gotta do is look at the timeline. Look at when uh uh you look at the timeline when he came in there. So look at what's the guy's name? MD, the president that got overthrown.
Poroshenko or something
No,
like
not
that.
Poroshenko. It's the one after him. The one in 2014. What's his goddamn name? So the one that Zelensky replaced. So the one before Zelensky was overthrown in a coup d'état, and there were leaked audios from an American diplomat in Ukraine and also European diplomat on the phone. It's leaked audio saying, we're going to put in our guy. So that was clearly Zelensky. And, you talk about corruption, allegedly he won by a landslide, but now this whole thing goes against their constitution,
Yeah, you talking about Yanukovych?
Yanukovych, there you go. Yanukovych, right. So Yanukovych, Obama administration wanted him out of there, like because he faltered on a deal with the a trade deal. So um so it was recorded. I mean, there's recordings out there. There's leaked audio. You can find it on the internet where they said, we're gonna basically take Yanukovych, he's got to go, and that's when goddamn they brought Zelensky. Now, how do you think you're going to have elections during a civil war? That sounds like some American shit to me. But they could be debated. But just when you look at the timeline, from my perspective, it's undeniable. Especially when you got the leak audio saying we're gonna put in our guy. We put in our guy. That's clear as day. That's like the smoking gun right there.
I like I've said, it's not. I don't know enough about the
I
ins and
understand.
outs of how Zelensky got elected to uh, agree with what you're saying or deny what you're saying. In the
Right.
sense that I would have to do the research to be able
Right.
to
Well, if you do the
know
research,
if
then
what
you
you're
do
saying
find a
is
leaked
right or
audios.
not. But the fact is that either way, it is even the United States got themselves involved in so many countries in that
Right.
way, right?
Oh, and they just had
So
another coup d'état in
and
Chile too.
Russia
Yeah.
did the same thing, right? That's how
Understood.
that,
Understood.
that was called the Cold War, right? And even though some people said it ended in 1981, some people say that it never ended to some
Right.
extent, right? So it just became the new way things were done because we didn't want any large scale uh, involvement between nuclear nations, right? So we had to change the way war was done because it's still important to profit off of war, right? There's so much money in it,
Hmm.
but it's just important that people dying are not as much our civilians or their civilians, right? It's proxy wars. So the question as to who does what and blah 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 and who can get involved, international order requests that no individual nations get involved under any circumstances. Right?
Oh, so
It
that means
requires that it becomes an international effort to solve international issues. Invasion is never justified in that frame of reference. The UN has been doing a shit job at what it's been supposed to do because it's powerless in front of the nuclear powers of this world, right? But it's it's the best framework we have. It's just that none of the actual powerful nation follows it. They all want to do it their way. So what should prevail? International interest or national interest? Because
well,
what's going on in Ukraine right now, it, we're not. Nobody's really concerned about the Ukrainian people.
well, if you say national, then that means that um based on the Ukrainian, let's just talk Ukraine. Based on the Ukrainian constitution, that means Zelensky would just have to honor the Minsk Accords and leave the Republic of Donetsk and Luhansk alone. If it was that, but of course that's not the case because Obama was the first to interfere, not Putin. Putin just now they say he invaded this year. Now you talk about international. So when civil wars go down, are outside nations supposed to be involved? Because if
They
so, or
can
if not,
through
huh?
international cooperation to the UN, right? Andy was asking if we should have tried fucking Victor about internationally. My opinion is no. My opinion is Victor Bout is a national matter. The fucking situation in Ukraine is an international matter. Unfortunately, we have a Security Council, and Russia has blocked any attempt at the UN as to try and get this situation solved in a violence-less way, right? Because they got a veto in whatever the UN does, like the United States does, like China does, like France does, like the UK does, right?
Okay, what exactly? I'm sorry. What exactly did they veto? Because if Putin pulls out, then people in the Donbass region are going to be massacred. So
Yeah,
what
it's going to be a slaughter.
it's going
Yeah.
to be a slaughter, right?
That's
Putin
your
is actually a peacekeeper in that situation. So please explain to me what I mean. Putin just let them people die. Is that what you're saying? Because I mean, then people will be slaughtered. They're going to be slaughtered if it goes down the way that you say it should go down. You're looking at a straight genocide. Hell no.
what I'm saying is not that anything that they proposed would have solved the situation so far. Remember, I said that the UN does a shitty job at what it's supposed to do. What I'm saying is that whatever in the current
Right, but
framework
Putin is
it would be
blocking anything
trying to
that is
do Russia, China, the UK, the United States, those 5 countries could block any work the UN might be trying to do for national interests. I'm not saying that they've tried to do anything good or that they proposed anything good. I'm saying that even if they did, the current framework wouldn't allow them to definitely do anything. The UN is our international tribunal is an inefficient organization, powerless organization, really.
No,
And
I understand that,
those
but
international matters that are really international matters will never be able to resolve through international cooperation, because our organization to do so is irrelevant. So it's always going to be a question of national interest between nuclear powers, uh, and the little countries where the fighting is actually taking place, where the civilians are actually dying. They're always going to be the losers.
okay, but what I'm trying to understand, because you said Putin had blocked
Yes, he's like resolutions. Every
right
resolution,
resolutions, right? But in the resolutions, the interest to who though?
that doesn't matter.
No, it
My
does
point
matter.
is not the resolutions that is blocked. My point is his ability to do so.
I'm sorry, I'm misunderstanding. Maybe
My problem is with the veto that the permanent members of the Security Council have on any resolution that the UN could bring. The actual resolution that they've blocked, I don't care. My issue is with their power to do so.
I'm still lost. I'm sorry.
Okay. My problem is they have the tool to block resolution. Not, I don't care about the history of what they've blocked. My problem is that they have the tool to block stuff.
You talking about Russia or the UN? I'm sorry. You completely
The
lost
five
me.
members of the Security Council, right? There's
Uh-huh.
119 something, 190 something countries sitting at the UN, but there's 5 of them who can block anything they want
Right.
because they're the 5 biggest nuclear power on this planet.
Right.
Those
Okay.
having this power is my issue with the
Okay.
Yeah,
UN.
I get what you're saying, but I don't see the
What I'm
Security
saying is
Council.
that because those 5 powers have this ability, the UN is not in a position where it can do anything.
I agree with that.
That's my only point.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I mean, that, in terms of this situation, I don't ever see the UN being involved because, like I said, it's not a humanitarian. It's
Yeah,
not a
because
humanitarian issue. Yeah,
humanitarian work is the only thing the UN has any power to do right now. That's not what
yeah.
it was envisioned for, though, and that's not what it was supposed to be.
I,
But that's
I
what
agree.
their
I agree
effort
with that too.
that's what their effort are geared to because that's all they can actually do. So, but if we want an actual international tribunal, they can't be just a humanitarian organization.
Right.
So that's my issue with the UN, and that's why I think we're in the situations we're in right now, because our arm to resolve international dispute, its only actual power is to try and send food and medicine to the area.
Zen, you're breaking up. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? No.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying they don't have a resolution power because their only actual ability is to bring food and medicine in areas affected by uh, conflict, right? So we end up with war instead of international cooperation in resolving issues.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
And war is never a good thing. I personally believe there's close to no justification for war.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So when we look at this, I'm hearing an echo from somewhere.
Yeah, me too, man. Hold on. That
My
might be
mic
me.
might be starting to have issue with the battery. I can try and close it and start it again.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, with this whole situation, man.
Is it better now?
Yeah, yeah. I don't hear the echo now. You good? Yeah. So again, with this whole situation, we have to understand that it's going to be used, as a political talking point, especially in 2024.
Absolutely.
And I think we're going to start seeing the lines being drawn now that the midterms are over.
Yeah.
We're going to start seeing the lines drawn early next year. Is that a justification for releasing this guy? No, it's not. But that's just what it is. You know what I mean? I like I said again, I'm not seeing the core cause of even like bringing that up to a discussion and negotiation in terms of Brittany Grenier. I don't see it.
I don't
You
either.
know what I mean? If I mean me honestly, if I was in the position, I would be more or less worried about her well-being in Russia itself. Like for whatever reason, well, I do know the reason because they pulled all the U.S. ambassadors out of Russia. So she was left with her ass in the air basically because she didn't have any type of diplomatic assistance in Russia because there was nobody there.
Facts.
That's your first mistake. Like if so, you're basically saying, okay, if I leave somebody over here, they're in danger.
Yeah.
So with that logic, with Brittany Griner over there, I don't have any diplomatic assistance to give her, and I'm full 100% in fighting whatever battles for Ukraine. Then that would essentially make her a prisoner of war.
Yeah.
So it would be no negotiation. Last I checked, we don't make negotiations in terms of war. That's what I thought.
Right. That's a fact.
So if you're looking at it from that aspect, it's a double whammy dumb move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if this thing gets escalated. So I mean, like I said, there's a lot of different angles you can go with it. Me personally, I'm always going to look at it from a political end. And that's where I'm at with it.
I mean, I can't disagree with you on that.
No, for sure, it's going to be used as a political argument. Everything that can be weaponized in a political way usually is, right? Even lies. So if they don't have something, they usually make up something anyway. So
Yeah.
and people don't really care if something is true or not. They just care about the rhetoric behind it. So
Right. So I mean, so the next question would be, where do we stand in terms of our role in the Ukraine-Russia situation? We're talking about over $50 billion being sent
Yeah.
yeah,
to this
that's
country
awesome.
in military and non-military aid.
Well, we gotta have oversights. That's
You know what I
first thing.
mean?
Yeah.
One thing is sure, that whole situation is certainly not going to help the financial system, right? Let's just say that.
No. You're right.
So
And that makes it a political talking point.
Right.
that's the objective truth about it, right? So now what's gonna happen, right? Is it gonna make it so that rich people keep getting richer and poor people keeps getting poorer, or is it gonna be the tipping point for the financial system, and is gonna bring about a big change in it, right? So it's where
Well, I could tell you the sentiment here in the U.S. For the most part are that money, and this is on both sides. That money that's being sent to Ukraine could be sent here to the homeless and people here in this situation. I mean, that could be going towards people here in America. So
you
that's
could
going to be
say
a
that
talking point.
for
Huh?
the billions of dollars that you've put in that new plane, right? The B-21 Raider that you just unveiled, right?
Right.
I mean, how much money did fucking Northrop Grumman get for that?
yeah, you got a point. I mean, you
And
know,
how much money does Lockheed is getting for the SR-72, and how much money is Raytheon getting for all their weapon systems? And
Mhm.
so you're spending more money on military applications that most countries are spending on everything, right? So imagine if you put that money to other uses.
Well, you got to remember this too. Since you bring them up, they don't want a victory. They want to keep the war going. That's how they make their money. So they don't want no resolution. They don't want no peace talks. They don't know that's bad for business.
Absolutely.
That's bad for business.
If
So
there's
yeah,
no war, what's the point of that brand new plane, right?
right.
I mean, it doesn't need a pilot, so that's a great thing. You can just send a robot do its thing with nuclear weapons.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful future, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely war for profit, but again, I just don't see what type of talking points they're going to use politically to try to get Biden up out of this. I don't see it. I mean, shit. And they're already, but like MB said, they're gonna draw the lines. The lines are already being drawn as we speak. So, you know, I can't wait to see, um the what the new narrative is gonna be. Because yeah.
Well, we all know that after or once Ukraine gets boring, or China gets emboldened enough, the new thing is gonna be what the fuck is going on in Asia, right? With
Well, that's actually the narrative now. Shit. They yeah, it's
yeah, they do have protests right now in China, right?
yeah, yeah.
I'm guessing, yeah.
And
So
some of the generals here are saying that the resources that were given to the Ukraine, this and that, is actually taken away from a potential greater threat, which is China. And yeah, being that these are military strategists, I would find that hard to disagree with them on that.
in Canada, we also recently started speaking about the fact that apparently China has unsanctioned police stations a little bit everywhere in BC, Ontario. So there's definitely something going on there. It's
Mhm.
in Canada, man, y'all got a lot of stuff to worry about, man. I heard they trying to so they already got the handgun ban. So now they're trying to do the caliber ban, which are gonna hurt a lot of huntsmen up there in up in Canada, man. I don't know what Trudeau's got going, man.
oh well, yeah, no, they're definitely going ahead and trying to ban pretty much every weapons they can get away with, as far as firearms are concerned. Um, Now you've got Alberta and some indigenous, well, actually the whole AFN, so pretty much all indigenous nations fighting it right now. So Alberta fighting it, meh. I mean, Alberta has been trying to do its own thing for about as long as Quebec has been trying to do its own thing, right? Quebec is getting away with pretty much doing its own thing for many reasons, whilst Alberta also gets away with doing its own thing on some matters because of their importance in the energy market in Canada, right? Now, as far as Trudeau's government is
Mm-mm.
concerned, and I'm kind of happy to see that they've taken that into account because if there's one thing of modernity that they've been using, it's guns to hunt. It's helpful. So, but yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see where it goes. It's most likely gonna be either modified the bill or indigenous people and maybe Alberta are gonna get special rights. So we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's like everything that goes on like socially, politically. Trudeau does it like 100. You know what I mean? Times 100. I don't know why, but yeah, I guess I'm glad I'm a mayor.
Well, it's you know, Canadian prime ministers have much more power than American presidents, right? So their whims and their wants have much more potential to affect legislation in the country. We don't have as much check and balance as soon as a government is in a majority position. Well, the prime minister is a position where he can present laws and have them voted in uh, forcefully to some extent, right? So that's a wonderful when you roll the dice, right? When you vote, you get to choose between a government that's going to do pretty much nothing because it's in minority, and if there's no agreement, it's always going to be in debates in the chamber, or a dictatorship, which is a fun choice to
Yeah. Mm, damn.
usually, when our government do bad things, there's a commission, that investigate it a couple of years later, a couple of months later, in the case of the Emergency Act right now, that's been investigated right now, right? And if there's some wrongdoings, right, they're gonna scold the person responsible and say, "Oh, you were a bad politician." But never, nothing never really happens.
Right.
Never get put in jail. Right? They never get anything really taken away from them.
Hmm.
So, what's the right? Like I've said, if you're a politician, it's usually because you're not the best of person, right? Or and that's a common trope, right? The good people get either grinded out or molded in, right? So,
Mm, God damn. Hmm.
yeah, it's I have a very cynical and pessimistic opinion of political system in Canada, I guess, but it's because it's not what it claims to be. It's a mishmash of federalism and you know the role the province have and the history of it and how it's not representative and it's the same thing as in every democracy to some extent, right?
Right.
They always achieve the interest of the people in power to some extent.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, shit. Well, I mean, hell, it's an interesting outlook. Definitely interesting outlook, man. Like I said, man, we definitely gotta just look out for things to come. You know, damn. All right, y'all. Well, we gonna set up a show for Tuesday, I believe. We got Champions Circle. No. Champions Circle on Monday, and then Champions Corner on Tuesday. So uh definitely want y'all to join in for that. Man, MD Zanzi, I want to thank y'all for coming out, man. Good conversation, man.
Yeah,
Good
no
talk.
problem. Hey, I
Yeah.
want to say something real quick for you all close it out.
Okay, no
Quick,
problem. No problem.
hey, this is and not to get too personal. This is for Angel Snubbing Up Seven. My brother Talik, right?
Yeah.
So I I I, I guess I guess I could call it miscommunication. So initially, like we were supposed to have a show in regards to
This question
his in terms of his Liberation Day address, which I was very interested in doing. I told him, hey, look, like I want to talk about some of the things that you said and get more of your perspective as to how you looked at it, right? Like that was something that I personally wanted to do.
Okay.
And I went to you, and I went to him, and everything was agreed upon. So when the whole thing with Sister Noble got brought up, I pretty much knew from that point, like that, you know what I mean? That pretty much was gonna trash it. We gotta understand, like, and I spoke to him about it, and he was like, yeah, that was pretty much the reason why, like, it didn't go as planned. Like, and it's to no fault of nobody. Like, I ain't tripping on it. I just wanted to clarify publicly, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like what transpired and how to move forward from it. Like, it we want unity at the end of the day, in terms of like having different perspectives and being able to have open discussions that are impactful, and you know what I mean, and mind massaging and what have you. But when certain bridges get burned, like, we just got to understand, hey, look, like, that's just what it is, you know what I mean? So I didn't want to make it seem like that I was trying to like ambush him into doing nothing. And I'm pretty sure you didn't. That wasn't your intent.
No,
Blackson.
No, sir.
So I just wanted to say that publicly. You know what I mean? Like, it was no ill intent. Like, I still want to do that show because
I do too.
I was interested in the topic. Blackson was interested in the topic. So again, like it even if we have to go over to the Reality's Temple to do it, I don't have any issue doing that. I just want to have a further discussion on the matter. You know what I mean?
Right.
And not just that, and then that goes for Operation Exodus Mississippi as well. You know what I mean? That's my main focal point. That's what gravitated me toward Angel Snuffing Up 7 was OEM. So I'm always be interested in that.
Absolutely.
But the main focal point was to have a further discussion on the topics that you brought forth in your address. And I still want to do that show. If Blackson's interested, like I said, if not over here at the arena, we could do it on Talik's channel on Reality's Temple. I don't have any issue doing that.
I concur.
I just wanted to make it clear.
Yeah. I concur on that, MD. So I mean, if Angel wants to do it over here or over Reality's Temple, now if he doesn't on Reality's Temple, just let me know and I'll come there. Or if he wants to do it here, he's more than welcome. So it's up to Talik, man. And I apologize for Talik for making it. You know what I'm saying? I should have just that was
Like I said again, it was no issue. It wasn't a thing that I looked at it like, damn, like, like it was ill intent. No, I didn't look at it that way. But I also understood the perspective of Talik. Like,
absolutely,
he's going through his thing with her. He don't, like, it is what it is. The bridge is burnt. Like, we can't do anything to mend that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I explained that to him. I said, hey, look, like, I want to do the show for a specific reason. You know what I mean? I don't, all that other stuff, that's something that's a side quest. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Right.
I want to talk about specific topics, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? And I tried to make it clear to him, hey, look, the same goes for Blackson. Like, it's no ill intent. You know what I mean? So again, shouts out to the deacons. They in the chat.
Absolutely.
That extends to them as well, because I know, everybody's cool. Like, just everybody be cool. We still on the same page as far as OEM and the address that was made on Soul Liberation Day. I want to talk about that.
Absolutely.
So, if I'm gonna reach out again, the deacons, if they want to reach out, whatever, but we gonna get it set up. If not this week, sometime in the near future.
All right. Well, MD, you got my information, man. So just keep me posted because, like I said, the arena's open, man. I mean, like I said, we got, um, I mean, we got, I mean, 'cause, Nature Mom, she's doing that FIFA thing right now. So I mean, hell, we got Saturday open, for now. Like, of course, we got Sunday open. So yeah, however you want to, do it.
Hey, that's another topic, Black Son. And
Okay.
of course, we about to get ready to get off, but I want to
Oh,
talk about this Qatar stuff too, man.
oh,
It's a
me
lot.
too,
It's a
man.
lot of shady stuff going on over there.
Ooh, oh shit! I'm glad you said that because you know what? Yeah. We can do definitely gonna do that, man. Because I wanna get you on the show, man, and talk about that. Because that's yeah. Because even oh man, yeah, it's a lot of shit going down, man. That's you not hearing about, but yeah, we can do that, MD. You ain't said nothing but the
Yeah,
thing, brother. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no problem. Yeah, we'll probably talk a little bit about it, man, on Champions Corner, either one of them shows.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
All right,
For
cool.
sure.
But yeah, that's all I had, man. I felt compelled that I needed to say something about it. So there's my spiel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, man, it will again, man. Let me. Yeah, like I said, the invitation's always extended out to the rallies temping on earth, man. Everybody over there, man. Shout out to them, man. And Angel's always welcome to come on this show, man. Angel, he's ain't gonna be no, you know what I'm saying. No funny business over here, Angel. If you're listening, man, we about elevating conversations, man. From CTE to goddamn Ukraine. We have adult conversations over here, and your Mississippi campaign fits into that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it fits into that, man. We not with no nigga shit over here. So,
Right.
sorry that it came off or the perspective came off, and I understand the history. I apologize for that, man. And it's just we can, you know, um, the arena could always, always be home, man. He's part of the family. So yeah, man, let's, if he wants to come over here or do it over there, that's fine. Either way, man, I'm open to either one, man. Just if y'all have it over there, just remind me and let me know, and I'll be there. I'll be there.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
Yeah, I'll be there. So but yeah, man, I want to thank y'all for coming out. Man, shout out to y'all, man. And like I said, yeah, we definitely need to do that Qatar thing, MD, because yeah, Nature Mom's been telling me some things, man. Like, like, oh man, Jesus Christ, like that government over there is off the chain, boy. They off the chain over there. So,
Yeah,
uh,
most definitely.
yeah. So,
Is it going well for a band? I mean, if she getting what she thought she would get out of it, or
um, I you know what? I won't know the final because they have dates set up. So once they start touring, I mean not touring, but playing, once they get paid, then we will get a final verdict on that. Because a lot of times musicians, well, I don't know how they do it nowadays, but sometimes musicians get like a deposit, and then after they do whatever contract, then they get paid. So we won't know that verdict, Zanzi, until they get paid. So once they get paid, then we'll know if there's any funny business or whatnot. But that more or less, I mean, it has something to do with the government, but it's you know what, I have to let Nature Mom get on here and explain all that because I can't really do it no justice.
sure.
So she will be back soon. Like I said, I didn't want to interfere with none of her performances or her, all that. They got to do a lot of stuff. So um she'll be back on. Y'all be hearing from her real soon, man. And yeah, man. Hopefully we can get a conversation on that because that's yeah. we need to talk about that FIFA and that goddamn Qatar. Yeah. But hopefully we can get Nature Mom on here real soon. Because I think her last performance is I think it's this week or this, I don't know, but she's been sending me photos of like they made they were in the paper, the Qatari paper, one paper, but they were on the as the band performing, upcoming new band, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna get in touch with her. Well, I'll probably contact her tomorrow to see how her schedule looks for any upcoming shows. But yeah, we definitely need to tackle that again.
I'll say this last thing before we get off. I'll say this one thing. Morocco got home field advantage right now.
Oh, they do? Oh shit. Well,
Hey man, hey, the team to beat right now is Morocco, man. They gonna have the whole country behind them.
oh shit.
Just,
Okay.
just them being like it's funny because they trying to tout it. Oh, the first African team to reach the World Cup semifinal.
Right.
Man, they Arabs. Most of the team is Arab,
Exactly.
and Qatar is Arab. Like
Yeah.
they it's gonna be hell. But I think they're playing France in the semifinal.
Okay.
So they got a challenge ahead of them.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, they're gonna have that whole damn stadium behind them. That's for damn sure.
That's a fact.
Stop. I hate the fact that they're trying to tout it. Yeah, technically Morocco is African, you're right, but
Nah, they still Arabs.
yeah,
Yep.
they're Arabs, bro.
Yep.
You know?
Facts.
All right, let's keep it a buck.
No denying that.
Let's keep it a buck.
That's a fact.
So yeah, but yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay, cool. Man, well, I appreciate y'all coming out, man. I appreciate y'all shit. And yeah, man, we got a whole bunch of topics we can bring up and talk about, man. But yeah. So Zanzi, welcome back, baby. Welcome back, man.
No problem, man.
Yeah, man. And again, man, shout out to MD, shout out to Zanzi, shout out to Twin, shout out to Free Spirit. Man, Venkat, man, you talking all that dang GOP stuff. I wish you would have jumped on here, Venkat. Shout out to Venkat. Talking all that damn liberal stuff on the goddamn. Shout out to Trevor. Shout out to Trevor. We'll see Trevor on Tuesday.
See, that's the thing. Van Cat just made an error. He said the GOP can't claim to be patriotic. It wasn't the GOP that stormed J6. That wasn't GOP at all.
Yeah, and in fact, the GOP turned against Trump, didn't they?
Exactly.
Yeah, they turned against Trump. They copped deuces. I remember that girl from damn Georgia. Yeah, they copped, man. They shit. But we can discuss that, Venkat. If you want to jump on the arena and discuss politics, we can always do that, brother. We can always do that shit. So yeah. But yeah.
But other than that, man, yeah, I just want to say peace to everybody, man.
Yeah. All right, y'all. All right, so shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody in the clouds, man. We'll see y'all Monday. Monday at I think at 8. I think Yanga likes to get off at 8. So we'll see y'all tomorrow at 8. And we out, y'all. Peace.
Peace.